Oh yeah, the questions. If I'm in a horror game, how would the gameplay be? Um, Horror game. You mean like as the antagonist or like as a player? Like am I the monster there or like am I the player there? Antagonist. Hmm. I would like to make it a chase because I'm the void. Obviously, the damage is voided. All they can do is run away from me. Either run or hide. But here's the thing: if I had this like horror game idea a very long time ago, but I haven't really like make it yet. Is what they call a second person horror game. And yes, you heard about like the first person, third person's a camera. Second person camera is the camera of the person you're looking at. So what you see is the enemy view that looking at you. You have zero control of that view. So it's like a camera itself that just want to kill you. So I've been thinking about this type of horror game that is when the monster approach you, you will work in like a styles of like those kind of like, have you played the olden time Resident Evil game? Like those kind of like fixed camera style, but the moment I slow like approaching you to a certain distance, your camera would switch to my view looking at you. And then you have to like be very disorientated to like find your way out because you are seeing what I'm seeing. You are not seeing what you are seeing. It's like force people to see like my view. Because like this type of camera style is almost impossible to make a game out of. Yeah, it kind of like be extra like scary too because like you see it in my view that know you are getting fucked. Like if the closer I like walk toward you, the panic you are because you know I am getting closer. Yeah, and the game like I designed it, I can I think I can show it to you. Hold on a little bit. Hold on to your bunch. I have like a conversation before back in the days. Let me dig it out. In my older channel, I only talked to Tig about it at the moment. Around that time. Yeah, second person horror game. I don't think you guys can see a single word from this thing. Let me try to. Not like full FOV. It's more like third person, not third person camera, like fixed camera, those kind of things. Let me try to read it. I don't think you guys can read it. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, the game pitch is basically you are like the game I back then I kind of conceptualized as you are a blind person but with a spiritual eye. So this is why you can see yourself as a third person because you are blind. You're using that like sixth sense to see you. So you like sort of have camera hovering around you in fixed locations. But yeah, like the game is basically like that. It's like you see things in the third person way 50% of the time. Because like again, like you go like playing like those kind of old timey like fixed camera game. You go to a room, you got another view. You go to another room, got another view. Like here, there, like those kind of things. So, and then like because like because the characters, the player have like the character then playing have like this spiritual eye. One day, while she was like like walk to school with a friend, and suddenly they got trapped in a like you can say like a spiritual zone, or suddenly like imagine like there's like back room, you suddenly walking to school, but the next thing you know you are inside back room. Like that kind of situations. So you are in a monster domain. You can call it monster, yokai, ghost, or anything like it's like it's just an idea around the time. I don't really have like anything like solid to add into it. So it's a monster in there that exists for many, many, many centuries. And many people actually fall into its trap and then get eaten by it. But of course, There are lots of like like the different kind of group try to like hunt it down or like end its terror. So in that zone you will like slowly exploring the world, a little bit Silent Hill-ish, and you will meet like 3 different group. One is like a group of monk. Technically only like 3 monks survived. Try to like kill that thing. And like a group of scientists, like the SCP level scientists in there. And the survivalists is basically people also trapped in there. They just try their best to survive. Most of them went insane most of the time. But it's like a horror game, but also it's a puzzle game at the same time, because your spiritual eye can't really like see everything, and the monster are trying to eat you to recover its power, because it has been like badly injured. And when the first time you see the monster, your friend further like help try to save you, and injured the monster like too in the process. But obviously like he died. Need to add a horror element into it. But yeah, like, and then it can be like that. And then the monster actually is just slowly limping toward you. It's not like chasing you or like, like leaping at you, like those kind of like acrobatic stuff. So it would just like slowly approaching you for the entire game. But here's the thing, it can take your spiritual eye. The game I kind of like set up is like it can take your spiritual eye. And once it did that, you can't use your spiritual eye to see like how you normally see anymore. Now you see like the perspective of the monsters using the spiritual eye. And I did say that it's like somewhat of a horror puzzle game, is because you actually there's some things that like the domain that the monster created, he put some feng shui stuff that can that can like either like make people lost in the domain or like can't get out. So you need to use its sight to figure out to change the feng shui that monster put. It's basically disrupt like the those kind of like they put like some certain like idol or this and that yeah stuff, the important stuff as like the medium. You have to destroy the medium or just like disrupt the medium or fix some puzzle, but you can't see it. Even the spirit eyes can't see it, but the monster can see it. So you have to actually like this make the game much more like intense, because you actually have to lure the monster come close to you. So it takes your eyes, takes your spirit eyes, and you use his point of view to solve the puzzle. But if you take it for too long, obviously the monster is limping, so it's slowly approaching you. So by the time you have to finish the thing and then to get out as fast as possible outside his range, that will take your spirit eye. Yeah, so it's like I try to like make this game like some like action moment, intense moment, this and that, yeah, that stuff. Like that part is like the intense moment, because like you have to make the monster come close to you. And sometimes if you're just wandering around and then you notice that your eye got taken, means like the monster is actually close to you. The monster don't essentially see you, but you can see yourself. You like while the monster didn't notice you, you can still kind of like see yourself. You can try to hide and find some spot to hide, and then once you like walk past you outside the zone, and then you feel it's fine, and then you can like go in. You can say it's same room or like somewhat like each room like have a door to go in, right? So it's basically if it's like a hallway or like right in front of the door, somewhat distant to the door into that room, your eyes will get taken. Your sight will get taken by the monsters. So the monster is just practically like wandering around in the domain, trying to find people to eat. That is how it sustained its life. And remember the faction that I told you guys about? You can try to help the factions to either like contain it or like to kill it or anything, or just try to get out this place. Depends on which group you are with. And then there's so many like scattered scroll or like data pad or those kind of like really like ragged notes about like people from different era, different centuries, different group of people that may and may not survived. wrote it, and then it's like the documentary of like the monsters. It's like how like under their own perspective or under their own like understanding or their encounter experience of the monsters, those kind of things. And you would learn that you are actually like in the entire game, like you will learn that you are actually like extremely lucky because that monster has been fighting for like a few centuries already. So it already been like very like wear and tear. It used to be even more powerful. Now it's just like limping mass, like slowly approaching people. But it's still very threatening. I have to make it like something like that. And then I might have to add one more thing is like if your site got just taken like suddenly like randomly, it would be really annoying. So I do want to make like your first encounter of another person's inside the domain is actually yeah, it's actually like a monk. So he gave you this bell that can like warn you if the monster is in the next room before it can take your site. So you can kind of like get pre-warned that your site is going to be taken. Like it will do cling like those kind of things. Yeah, it's a very good game idea. I hope one day actually like some game maker would like be interesting in this kind of things, like and give me a call. Hey, I heard about your ideas. Can I make it an actual game? I'd be like, ooh, cool. Yeah, I want the eye to be a much more spiritual like, and then like paying homage to like those kind of like very like old, like very old timey like horror game or like old timey video games. Technically, like fixed camera is like generally just old timey horror game for some reasons. Like you can see like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Dino Crisis. Yes, Dino Crisis is a horror game back then. Now it's not. People have made dinosaur not scary anymore for some reasons. Yeah, my design is my like not design is like my concept is like the blind girl's eyes is actually just floating around. It's like your sixth sense. Ooh, interesting. But it's still somewhat of a pseudo third camera. It's not exactly a second camera. Second camera is the person you are facing. The second person you are facing. You are the first, and then there's a second, and then there's a third camera outside of that view that can see both first and second persons. So the second person camera is actually really hard to make it happen or make it work. It's almost impossible. It's not like not impossible. Actually, there used to be like a game, like a I think it's like a carjacking game. It's like you are a person that can possess into any driver. So to like solve like a crime. I think you're a cop. You were a cop. And you're possessing like different driver, try to like you have the ability to possess the driver that in front of you and to basically switch and change lane and this and that stuff like that. And the last mission, you actually possess the guy that is chasing you right behind you. Not kind of possess, you possess his sight. So you are still controlling your own car, but your POV is actually the person that's chasing you. It's a very interesting concept. I learned about that, and I had this kind of like game, this kind of like horror game idea afterward. Yeah, people say like that game have like the worst driving control, so it never hit off in the first place, even though the idea is neat. Yeah, it was like a lots of things. But I do enjoy talking about like creating a game because I have a lot of idea of making games, but I don't really have the skill to make a game. It's more like I can become a game developer by just bullshitting. It's not bullshitting. It's more like I am a game mechanic developer in some sense. But if I need to put myself in a role, I would say I'm that. But I'm not a programmer. I'm not a good leader, so like the production side is going to be like hell. And I'm not a good artist, so tough luck making an actual game like that. I may try to become a voice actor, but it's just a so-so at the moment. And what I can say, yeah, it's basically I only can play a small part if I need to make a game. My small part is to have the idea of how the game functions and how to make the game like play as intended, something like that. But I don't have the capability of like doing programming or the general game developer side. I don't know what that's definitely like a certain jobs, but I don't know what kind of jobs that actually calls. This is why I personally want to like join some sort of like gaming QA scene. I want to get a hang of like, you know, like actual like game development, and then maybe like try to move myself up in rank to the point that I can somewhat direct a game that way. But yeah, it's not too big of a dream, but it's also a very difficult dream because not a lot of places want QA. So usually QA is like the, you know, like the first step getting into game development if you are not a, you know, if you don't have any like studies or like, you know, degree, like those kind of stuff like specialized on gaming.